Hi, Benar. I'm very happy to have you in our recording studio on the other side of this line. You're in Brussels right now. I'd like to have a
Correct.
discussion with you um, on your ideas of complexity and money. I don't understand it. Could you please explain this for us?
Well, let's first point out that the current crisis is dealt with as if it's the first one. And in fact, the World Bank has identified 96 previous banking crises and 176 monetary crises in the recent 25 period. So we're dealing with a systematic, repeated process. The scales can be different, but the process, the minute cause may be different, the immediate cause, but the structural issue is in fact never addressed. we we're treating it as if this is the first crisis. It's only the biggest of a long series. We have had 96 banking crises before this one and 176 monetary crises according to the World Bank. For example, those most people probably remember the Asian crisis of the late 90s, or the Russian crisis, the Argentinian ones. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There'll be many other ones that are less mediatic, except for the people involved. I think we should first look at the structural cause of it, as opposed to just dealing with the symptoms. And in that sense, we have had a breakthrough in the last years that's coming from an unexpected field for economists, which is complexity theory. We now can measure sustainability with a single metric, and it involves two key variables. One is the efficiency of the complex system, and the other one is the resilience. Now, both efficiency and resilience are dependent on internal structural variables, which are diversity on the one side and interconnectivity. To understand this is look at a natural system. A monoculture forest is much more vulnerable than a old growth forest. Or the problem of the panda is that he only eats one particular type of bamboo. So whenever the bamboo is getting scarce, the panda gets in trouble. In opposite to that, we have systems that are much more diverse, like rainforest, or animals that eat a lot of different plants have a lot more chance to survive. And we can therefore learn from natural systems that you need to have a certain amount of diversity and a certain amount of interconnectivity, in other words, diversity of relationships, in order to be able to have a system that's sustainable, that will last, that will adapt to different shocks or different changes in the environment. Our monetary system is obviously a monopoly, is obviously a monoculture, and therefore the solution is to go to a ecosystem of monetary solutions. In other words, different currencies for different purposes that make it possible for society to not only measure what's going on, but also motivate people to do things that are spontaneously not happening. So that points at the same time to this problem, which is a structural one, lack of diversity and lack of interconnectivity, and as the solution, which is complementary currencies.
Okay, thank you very much for this one.